Look at that. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me call to order this meeting of the City of West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. Today is Monday, June 23rd, 2025, and the time is, oh my God, 3:36 p.m. So we will take comments from the public. Any cards? We have two cards, one from Mike Schmidt and the other from Claudia Kirk-Bartow. Mr. Schmidt? 3
minutes, right?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Schmidt. I live at 315 Hibiscus Street. I'm the vice president of the Downtown Neighborhood Association. So all I'm really doing here today is one of downtown residents' requests as part of the downtown master plan revision process is that we set aside room for playgrounds, dog parks, things like that. Amidst all the development, we've got to have some kind of parks. Makes everyone happy. It's what people want. I think it would add appreciability to the value of downtown. And there's a particularly juicy opportunity in the 600 block of Ivernia. So imagine you're at Publix, and just on the north side of Publix there. So it's the south side of Ivernia in the 600 block. There are 4 lots that are owned by Related Group, or Related Ross, I should say. There are 2 lots that are not contiguous that are owned by the CRA. I think it would be extremely advantageous to both parties because everybody wants to have adjacent lots or contiguous lots. For the CRA to perhaps approach Related Ross and see if they could quit claim maybe one of their lots for the CRA lot so that we have 2 lots on the corner that are adjacent to each other that would be CRA-owned lots that could be a future either a dog park or a playground or something of some such. I've already let assorted people know about this desire on the part of the Downtown Neighborhood Association. There were 2 people from Cornerstone Group that I took around on a car tour just to kind of show them what I had in mind, not only the location of what I had in mind, but also just took a look at assorted parks in the downtown area about exactly what type of park we'd like to have, because some are successful, others are not so successful. And as the mayor has aptly noted in the past, if you're going to build a park, it's got to be a successful, popular park, or else it just creates a whole host of other issues that are annoying to everybody. So anyway, so I just wanted to make the CRA aware of that, especially Chris Rug. And if anyone ever wants to take a car tour with the DNA, I'd be happy to point out these little sites, not just where it's located, but also what type of park we have in mind. There are other parcels that are interesting as well, but they're not necessarily CRA owned, and they also perhaps could be acquired by CRA because they're perhaps undevelopable in certain ways. So anyway, so that's my spiel. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Ms. Bartow?
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Claudia Kirk-Bartow, 510 51st Street. But I've lived downtown, I've lived in the South End, and my first place was on Village Boulevard. So I kind of feel like I know the whole city, but I'm here today to talk about the West Palm Beach Center for Arts and Technology. And as we all know, the city of West Palm Beach is undergoing an exciting transformation, and Mayor James, you've emphasized the importance of bringing the opportunity to the community. So at the West Palm Beach Center for Arts and Technology, we're turning that vision into a reality, starting in the historic Northwest. Our mission is to inspire, motivate, and prepare youth and adults for meaningful careers through innovative arts and technology, technical job training programs. We support the 100 high school students that are in that community annually, ensuring they graduate and are ready for college and career. Additionally, we empower the unemployed and underemployed adults, equipping them with the skills in culinary arts, hospitality, construction, medical, and technology. And as we move into our new home at 819 Sapadilla in August, Beacon Ridge is Rosemary Village building. We're welcoming a state-of-the-art designed to uplift and support the students and community and bring the vision to life. And we're actively seeking funding from lots of different grant sources. Not that we would turn away any CRA funding, I'm just saying. But we're excited about that, and I just want to tell you a little bit about one of the new programs that we're going to be launching, since I have 1 minute left. Through hands-on sessions and inspiring mentorship, participants will explore the future and roots of technology, from hardware to software, AI, cybersecurity, and cloud computing, and working to access Macs, PCs, and different environments in real-world systems, understanding IP addresses. And we believe that the kids and adults around them are the creators of tomorrow, and we're not just users of technology, they can be authors of it. So I'll talk more when I have more time, but I just wanted to tell you about this exciting technology program that we're going to be bringing to the community to be the tech hub there at West Palm Beach CAT. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now turn to members of the dais, and we'll start with you, President Lambert.
Thank you. I saw that we're kicking off the Soul in the City performances again. That's always a great event, but I was just curious, and we'll talk about it later, but just if we'll be able to host those in the Sunset Lounge anytime soon, that'd be lovely to see if we could. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rue. Do you want to address that?
Sure. So agreed, Commissioner, and that is the plan. As you know, the CRA is working very diligently to have the substantial completion of the Sunset Lounge, which is on schedule right now for October 1st. And the plan is to move Soul in the City into that venue as a way for the public to enjoy that great historical jazz venue and really to enjoy what has been created there. So we're very excited to introduce that to the community later this year.
Excellent. Thank you.
Commissioner Fox.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone in the CRA that worked on getting the best barbecue in their new location. The grand opening was last week, and it was amazing, and there were so many people involved. I won't name all the names because it's almost everyone on the CRA. I know you were all involved. You were all there. I was working with you for about a year on different parts of it, and I'm just so grateful that you were so helpful to them, and they managed to get in, and I'm just really looking forward to continuing to work on all the next projects to come, but thank you for all your work on that.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward.
I have more thank yous. I missed the nights in Northwood Village because I was out of town, but I heard so many just so much positive feedback, and I just want to thank you guys. I think more people are knowing about it, and considering it's the summertime and less people show up, apparently a lot of people showed up, and I heard from different business owners that I normally don't hear from how successful it was, so thank you for continuing that work. I know it's going to have to shift a little bit, but at least we went out with a really good crowd, so thank you to all the staff.
Commissioner Warren.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to express congratulations to Mr. Rawls for opening of the best barbecue. I know that he has been an entrepreneur in the city for many years, where he had a barbecue truck and a dream, and to be able to work with the city, with the CRA, and see him be able to have a brick and mortar location is really, truly my impression of a testament to what a CRA is meant to do, and that is to uplift people in the community and provide those opportunities for them to be completely vested. So thank you all.
Thank you, and I don't have any comments. Okay, we'll now turn to Mr. Ruger. Are there any additions, deletions, reorganization of the agenda?
Mayor, item 7.3 is going to be removed from the agenda, and the plan is to bring that back. The item we're making some last minute adjustments, and we're really quite ready to bring it before the board today. So I'll continue to work on those with related Ross, and we expect it to be ready for the August CRA meeting.
Okay, very good. We do have one item on consent, and I will, if there are no comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Item 7.1, resolution number 25-27, approving a Fourth Amendment through the incentive agreement with Transit Village LLC, granting a one-year time extension. Mr. Rube?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So this is a matter that I'll be presenting tonight. So the incentive agreement that we have with Transit Village, I'll just do a quick overview. It's been on the books now for some time, and I'll talk a little bit about the moving parts that are included in the original agreement, the resolution and the amendment, what that does today, and then happy to answer any questions that the board may have. So just as a quick overview, the parcel is the wedge parcel, which is owned by Palm Beach County. It currently sits at the corner of Banyan Boulevard and Tamarind Avenue, and just west of the Tri-Rail train station. Hence, the name of the project is Transit Village, because it does sort of meet all transit modes, including Palm Tran, Tri-Rail, pedestrian traffic, bikes, so on and so forth. So it's a very ambitious project that you may be familiar with. Includes 4 25-story towers with just a variety of uses. And it's very exciting in that it really does combine all of those, so to essentially eliminate the need for any kind of vehicle if someone so chooses, and really sort of places all those type of uses in one nice and convenient location. It does include workforce housing. That was something that was talked about very early in the project, as well as also substantial parking spaces, which hopefully is not needed, but are there in the event that we have a lot of transit users that commute from inside to use that facility. The site plan has been approved, and it is currently on the City of West Palm Beach's development site as an approved plan. And after speaking with the developer, there's still very much ambition to continue to move forward and construct this project. So the original agreement was pretty comprehensive, but in summary, the improvements that would come with the property would generate a substantial amount of taxes. And the agreement says that 100% of those taxes generated from the improved value would go back into the project, and would be the less of either $25 million or the cost to construct the public podium, which is the image in front of you, that little area that's just next to the train station. These obviously are paid annually, as property taxes are. And this agreement also does include a very robust community benefits program that was developed at the time that it was adopted back in 2018. This has been extended a few times in the past as the project just continues to evolve and move forward to actually breaking ground. So the resolution today extends it for another 12 months, and they are expecting, they being related, is expecting to have the building under construction by this time next year. And all other items remain consistent with the agreement, and assuming that the only requirement for the agreement to move forward is the vertical construction of that public podium, which is the major public component that would benefit the downtown city CRA. So with that, staff recommends approval. In our strategic finance plan, we do really call out building this sort of state-of-the-art transportation hub around the Seaboard train station. So that will continue to remain consistent, and happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you for that presentation. Commissioner Warren?
Thank you, Mayor. Can you just clarify for me if this is related group or related Ross?
That is correct. So thank you, Commissioner. I do have to clarify that it is related group out of Miami.
Thank you. I would like to say that I support this endeavor. I'm really, and I know that a lot has happened, and there have been some delays that were not intentional or provoked by the developer, but I'm particularly fond of the component that has the community benefit program. This is one of the first projects and one of the first developers to be willing to implement a community benefit program. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I believe in community benefit programs. I believe that they work, and I believe that someone has to step out and have the courage to be intentional about how the community benefits from the work that they're doing, and this is one of those really pivotal opportunities.
President Lambert?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. This is an exciting project, and I know it's been delayed, but I'm excited to see it move forward. So I have two questions. One is about the affordable housing and the micro units, but I'm going to ask my second question first, which is about the construction timeline. Chris, you mentioned that they plan to be under construction at this time next year, but then you said something about the podium, and I just wanted to make sure I understood. Does that need to be under construction first?
So the agreement says vertical construction of the public podium. And that includes foundation work and all of that kind of being completed. But I think based on the conversations with the developer, that, you know, that might be something that we have to look at as it gets closer, but they feel very confident that this time next year, it'll be close, if not being completed, as far as the vertical construction have been commenced.
Okay. And the reason why I ask is because I think that having a project like this that is focused around transportation, multimodal forms of transportation, can be transformative for our city. And, you know, the sooner we can get this going and whatever we can do to help that process, I'm all for it. I also believe, you know, it was interesting to see, I hadn't seen the number of units in a while, you know, how many units are going to be created here. I know that we have added more robust workforce housing unit percentages to our projects than maybe we did in 2018. And so while 42 doesn't seem as many, I was interested in the 166 micro units. Mm-hmm. Do you have any information on those? And are those, I mean, obviously because they're smaller, they're priced more affordable. Will those kind of be along the same lines as our affordable housing?
I can get you the details on the micro units. I didn't ask Related Group specifically about those. I believe, and I was actually looking for it now, I believe the percentage amount, the AMI percentage for the workforce units is no greater than 120% of AMI. And I think we might have broken it down. The agreement's pretty lengthy, so I can go back and get you that information as well.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Fox?
Thank you. I'm really excited about this project. I think it is going to be transformational, and hopefully it's just the first of many TODs to come in the city. I mean, this having more workforce housing near transit and also revitalizing the transit station itself, I think is going to help a lot more people want to use it. You know, some of the time when you go to other cities, half the journey is, you know, stopping in the train station and getting a coffee or, you know, exploring, and I think that is really missing on Tamarind, and so I'm looking forward to everything about this development. But I just wanted to ask Chris, do you have any updates to share about, you mentioned the challenges, I think we all know what they are with the county, but is that something that is moving forward in some way that we have confidence to think that this will only be another year? Thanks.
I can't speak to the legal challenges going on between Transit Village and Palm Beach County, other than the developer is very eager to work those out quickly. And they feel pretty confident now that with some of the new county administrator, that they'll be able to work those out, as you know, they're hearing, you know, the county would also like to see this project move forward too. But you know, that's those are just very general conversations with Related Group.
Any other questions on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 25-27.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.2, resolution number 2530, authorizing a lease with purchase option with WPB-TVFF LLC, doing business as Vegan Fine Foods for 719 North Sapodilla Avenue for use as a restaurant, eatery, or food market.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. Robbie Sammy, Economic Development, here to go over the Resolution 2530 to enter into a commercial lease with Vegan Fine Foods for 719 Sapodilla. Very quickly, I'll give you the timeline of where we were, how we got here, and where we currently stand. I'll go over the location of the building, at which point I will pause and I'll have the business owners come and speak. Stephen and Joe, they're here with us today. At which point I'll tag back in and go over where negotiations currently stand and staff recommendations and any questions that you might have. So if you recall, we broke ground on 719 Sapodilla back in May of 2024, at which point we put out a notice of disposition at the end of last year. We got approval to move forward to negotiate in March of 2025, and then we got assigned a letter of intent in May, at which point now we hope to enter into a formal lease agreement by the end of June, and then hopefully have the business have their grand opening by the end of November of 2025. So 719 Sapodilla is sort of center image. You have Nora to the east, Tamarind to the west, and Heart and Soul Park to the north as kind of your indicators. This is what 719 Sapodilla looked like in all of its glory. Before we tore it down, the two remaining walls that you see were, because this was designated as a historic building, those two walls had to remain, but the rest of it was a complete tear down and rehab. 719 looks like this as it stands today, full renovation. Sorry about the fence there, but that's the best picture I could get without trespassing. At this point, I'll stop to give the business owners a chance to speak, but as a refresher, Vegan Fine Foods is an all-vegan market bar and grill, and they were the only proposal that we received when we put our notice of disposition. So at this point, Stephen and Joe, that's all yours.
Good afternoon. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Mayor, Commissioners, everyone here, thanks for the opportunity to present. So what I want to do is just give you some background on Vegan Fine Foods and sort of the story of our origin and also the story of our vision for the historic Northwest and 719 North Sapodilla. So what we're going to do, again, I'll just give you some background about Vegan Fine Foods, just us as a business. And by the way, this is my partner and co-founder, Joseph Williams Sr. And we started in Fort Lauderdale, so I'll tell you the Fort Lauderdale story and then how that has brought us to West Palm Beach. Give you an overview of our products, services, and our draft menu. And then Joseph will wrap it up with a discussion of the benefits that we hope to bring to the community. So, Vegan Fine Foods. So, of course, you hear the word vegan. It's our first name is vegan. And I know some people are sometimes thrown off a little bit about that. It's all plant-based. So, but we are vegan and very proud to be vegan, but we're not just for vegans. And the food that we will offer here in West Palm Beach will be delicious, savory, and very satisfying, while at the same time being vegan. So this was a slogan that we used when we first started, vegan, but not just for vegans, because we welcome everyone. And in fact, in our Fort Lauderdale location, based on our own surveys, more than 75% of our customers were not vegan. They just like to eat that way sometimes. Our mission, to empower healthier living, cultivate community and wellness, and drive positive change. And that's what we're all about. The leadership team, again, myself, Stephen Smith, and then Joseph Williams Sr. here. So Fort Lauderdale, just to give you a little history. So we launched Vegan Fine Foods back in March 2018 in Fort Lauderdale. I had this idea for many years. I've been a vegan since the late 90s. And I've witnessed firsthand how this market, vegan food, and just this lifestyle has grown, and it's very much related to health and wellness. So I got the idea for doing an all-vegan market because being a vegan and going out shopping for food and looking for things to eat was always difficult. So I thought sort of having an all-vegan market would be a really good idea, and that's how the whole thing came about. So we finally launched again in March 2018 in Fort Lauderdale. Didn't know how things would go because it was a new concept. There was no market like ours, and it exploded. So in our first fiscal year, we had revenues of over $1.2 million. And then as we went into our second fiscal year, based on our month-over-month growth rate, we were projecting $1.6 million for the second fiscal year. However, that was interrupted by COVID-19. And we were located downtown Fort Lauderdale. Most of our customer base were people who were working downtown and so on. And with the COVID shutdowns, that pretty much shut down our customer base. We stayed open a little more than a year after the COVID shutdowns, but we couldn't sustain it beyond that. But we did make a name for ourselves, and we built a very strong brand. Again, we were the first mover in the all-vegan grocery space, not just in Florida, but throughout the country. We had a huge launch, a very successful launch. We were even nominated. That little picture you see there is from a news article where we were nominated as, actually we were a finalist for Retailer of the Year by the National Food Merchandiser magazine. So we had a really good first year of business. We had a strong management team. We were able to build a strong brand and brand loyalty. And that was really the basis of Vegan Fine Foods and how we started. Just to share some images from back in Fort Lauderdale, we offered all types of products. We had, again, vegan foods. We had our own products, our own line of products. This is an example of our wines. We called it Vegan Fine Wines. We served prepared foods, desserts, and we had a full grocery section. This just gives you some pictures of what our location looked like. We were right across from the Broward Center for Performing Arts. And, we had a really nice space with a very big sign that lit up at night and it helped build our brand. And we had a very, very loyal customer base. We also had a lot of really positive press coverage locally, nationally, and internationally. This is just some clips. When we first opened, because it was such a new concept, you can see some of the clips of the articles talking about Vegan Fine Foods and us being, as you can see on one of those, it says, an oasis of plant-based bites. So very strong start and a lot of positive press coverage and also some positive television coverage as well. I appeared on a lot of local shows, local news programs, in addition to this show, which is a national show, a business show on the Cheddar News Network. So again, very positive, and it actually exceeded our expectations. And at the end, we had lots of happy customers, and these were pictures from inside our store. And we did a lot of community engagement. And I just pulled a few pictures just to show you some of the things that we would do on a regular basis. Going clockwise, you can see we had an event probably about once a month, story time for kids. And now with the readery in the historic Northwest, we hope to be able to do some things in this area to encourage kids to read and learn about nutrition and health. We did a lot of networking events, entrepreneurial networking events and different types of networking events. We had live music on a regular basis. We had a live jazz brunch on Sundays. We did classes, and we even had exercise programs inside the store. So this was the type of community engagement we had in Fort Lauderdale, and we hope to build on this here in West Palm Beach. Now moving on to West Palm Beach. So what is our vision for 719 North Sapodilla Avenue? Well, the concept's going to be different than what we did in Fort Lauderdale. So we're calling this Vegan Fine Foods Kitchen and Bar. So the concept is it's going to be a vibrant, plant-based, fast casual restaurant and bar. Our goal, our vision is to become one of the premier destinations for fast casual dining, social connection, and entertainment here in West Palm Beach. As far as our build-out plans, we plan to really get this build-out done as soon as possible. We're projecting October. And some of the features, again, we're working on the kitchen now, and we're really trying to think this through so that our business runs as efficiently as possible. And so this is a really good opportunity because it's pretty much like a vanilla box, so we can build it according to our business model. Comfortable modern dining with a beautiful outdoor patio. We're going to have a full-service bar and a nice courtyard where I hope we can do some markets, produce markets, and things that are very beneficial for the community. Our value proposition, which was our proposition in Fort Lauderdale, superior customer service, high-quality foods and products, a great dining experience, and being welcoming for everyone. Just to show you our concept, and again, we're still in the early stages of designing this. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Bolé, the restaurant Bolé, and there's another one in Fort Lauderdale called Beehive Kitchen. And they do bowls, sort of build your own bowls. And folks come in and you go down to the cafeteria style line and you build the bowl the way you like. So that's the similar concept that we're planning here in West Palm Beach. So this is just some shots from Beehive Kitchen and how they structure their restaurant. And here's some shots from Bolé, which I'm sure you folks are familiar with because they have a location here in West Palm Beach. So we're planning something very similar as far as the inside of a restaurant and type of food that we're going to serve. We're also going to have other types of products. So we'll have some retail products. Most of them will be branded vegan fine foods. We plan on having produce markets. We have a whole new line of what we call pre-made meals with all the folks that live downtown and working. Pre-made meals is a really fast-growing category. So we're planning to offer that. Prepared food, the full menu, smoothies, juices, and even acai bowls. So these are the products that we will be offering. Services, we are going to start out really focusing on delivery. We know that's big and it has exploded since COVID. And we will also offer catering. Here's just a draft menu. So again, for those of you that do know Bolé or Beehive, it's a very similar type menu. And we're going to offer build your own bowls, wraps, burgers, sandwiches, and even flatbreads, in addition to having desserts, drinks, acai bowls, and so on. So that is the plan for our Fort Lauderdale location. And I will turn it over to Mr. Williams to wrap it up as far as community benefits.
Community benefits, all right. So I will tell you that the essence of vegan fine foods, as you can see, is community. Community is the key. I'll just touch on a few things. Kids and teens, we're going to have educational events on health and wellness. We're going to have, for the adults and professionals, cooking classes and meal planning. For the college students, we're going to talk a little bit about internship and management opportunities and, employment opportunities. For our seniors, we're going to certainly reach out to our seniors. We're going to put together some designated events. We're going to have a special discount days. We're also going to talk about special delivery options. And for the general public, we're certainly going to work on health and wellness lessons for all ages. Food demos and tasting, family-friendly activities. But I do want to stress a couple of things. When going through this exercise, I walked through the community and I couldn't help but to notice the food pantry, which really touched my heart. And one of the things that Steve and I talked about very seriously was about how to change and how to help with that. And one of the big things for me is to push education in the community and get the local farmers to come out, and we would do a fresh food market to have the local community participate and come out and be part of that. This is pretty strong for me, and it's pretty gut-wrenching when I walk through the neighborhood. So I want to see the improvement. I want to see everybody improve. And I would like to see this opportunity come to fruition. So I want to thank you all for your time, and thank you very much for allowing us to be able to present to you today.
Thank you, Stephen and Joe. So just to recap where we currently stand with negotiations as far as our signed letter of intent is concerned, the CRA did receive a formal appraisal on the property as it sits now, 719 Sappadilla. It sits at $1.3 million. We have negotiated $700,000 purchase price for 719 Sappadilla, and so the delta that you're seeing between the purchase price and the appraised value is then filled by an additional $700,000 that Vegan Fine Foods is putting as far as their startup costs are concerned. Based on their business plan, their 5-year average profit would be about $160,000 a year, and so if we were to take about a third of that for their rent payments, it comes out to about $56,000 annual or $4,667 a month, at which point the entire building would be paid off in about 12 years. But as far as the lease is concerned, we're doing no more than 12 years, no option to renew. They are able to purchase the building as long as they exercise that option at or before year 10, again at the $700,000 purchase price. In addition to economic impact, they are creating a number of jobs within the first 5 years, 25 positions within the first 5 years. The tenant will be responsible for all utilities, taxes, and insurance. This is triple net, and all lease payments will be credited towards their purchase price should they execute their option by year 10. In addition to all of the community impacts that they outlined, this restaurant would really be filling a gap as far as a food desert is concerned, and offering really affordable, healthy living that you don't quite see at this price point in a lot of neighborhoods. So to go a little bit further, if we're talking about overall economic impact, again, I talked about the total 25 jobs. Even if the minimum wage was $15 an hour for all 25 positions, you're looking at an impact of $1.17 million in the community. The purchase of the sale of the building alone is $1 million on its own. And so, fast forward to the bottom, you're looking at a $2.69 million economic impact for the city and the county overall. Because of all those reasons and the fact that they meet the goals of the CRA, which is number one in the historic Northwest, protecting the historic fabric of the neighborhood, in addition to economic goals, prioritizing minority-owned businesses and allowing them to expand and retain them in the city, staff recommends approving Resolution 25-30. And I'll take any questions at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward.
Thank you. This is actually for the gentleman, if you don't mind. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your names, but I loved your background and what you were talking about when it came to community building, and I think you have a lot of other players right now already helping that, and so you'll be joining if you approved a really good community when it comes to Trinity Gourmet, teaching kids how to grow microgreens and understanding that, and so I think that you could actually really blend in well with some of the other actors. WPB-TV wants to do a culinary program, and I just wanted to add on when you were talking about the food pantry and being able to create a market. One inhibitor is the commercial kitchen aspect. And so you need a commercial kitchen, access to a commercial kitchen in order to be able to go and be involved in our green market, for instance. And so that's always a little bit of an inhibitor when it comes to the growth that you see in some of the areas trying to create your own business. And obviously we have FAMU and Coleman Park and Pleasant City with their own community gardens. And so I see a lot of potential connections with you all and your concept. My question was at your price point. It seemed like a really, really good price point. And I know when I buy healthy foods, normally that's a very higher price point. So how are you working that in and factoring in to get the price points I saw on the screen?
Yeah, so the price points, again, those are our targets. That's because we want it to be affordable, especially based on where we're located. But again, it's a draft, and we have established relationships with vendors and so on. So we just do the best we can to, based on our experience, to be able to, bring in our inputs, our supplies at the best rate that we can, and just try to keep, and that's why I sort of emphasize efficiency. One of the things that we've learned over the years, to be able to keep your price at an average, or maybe in some cases a below average level, is to be able to run your business efficiently and not have a lot of waste. And that's something that, both Joseph and I have a lot of experience doing. And in my case, I've learned a lot through trial and error. So I think we are well positioned. And I also mentioned, even how we design our kitchen and our internal operations, efficiency is going to be sort of at the top of the list in terms of for the reason of keeping our costs down.
Okay, can I have a follow-up?
Yes.
Have you been working with anybody on determining, you're talking about the employees that you'll be targeting, and obviously those are usually like, minimum wage and income. I know like growing up here, a lot of people got their starter job at Publix and doing that. Are you guys working with any of the organizations now to maybe determine a pipeline to get some of the younger kids in the area who can work at that younger age to maybe work? Or are you guys targeting an older group of people that you'd be hiring?
No, we definitely, we want to hire young folks and maybe even have our business be maybe even their first job in a lot of cases. We have not started that process yet here in West Palm Beach because we haven't gotten approved yet. But if and when we get approved, we're going to hit the ground running on that. And yes, I have some other colleagues that run similar businesses in other states that work in programs like that, where they have a pipeline. And for example, even folks that have gotten in trouble and are trying to develop workforce skills, really tapping into organizations like that to bring people on board for these types of jobs. And we're going to have, of course, some minimum wage jobs, but we're also going to be looking for some management type folks as well.
Awesome.
So it'll be a mix.
Thank you.
Commissioner Warren?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm very excited about this. Having seen the Northwest neighborhood for many years and being in the community for a very long time, I don't know that I've seen or that I conceptualized a vegan restaurant moving into the community, but I appreciate your vision, and I'm looking forward to supporting you in that vision. I particularly appreciate the purpose that you have and the intentional way that you're approaching impacting the most vulnerable people in the neighborhood, where you have put in writing your plans to affect the children and the seniors in the community, because we know that there have been food deserts and where there's been a lack of fresh produce and access to the things that you're bringing. So I'm looking forward to how you will partner with others and continue to do more in an area that will benefit tremendously.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate that. And I just want to, just a quick response to that. One of our experiences in Fort Lauderdale that was actually surprising to me is that our customer base, as it grew, one of the fastest growing segments were people that were coming from neighborhoods that didn't offer, the kinds of things that the more affluent neighborhoods offered. So there is a desire across the board for people to improve their eating habits, their health, and so on. So we hope to tap into that and be a part of that.
Follow up, Mayor?
Yes.
And in addition to that, I think that it's a wonderful draw to people that may not have been in the Northwest neighborhood to come to the Northwest neighborhood because of what you're offering. And I think that that is important as well.
Yep, thank you.
President Lambert?
Thank you. I share the enthusiasm of my colleagues. I think that it's exciting to see a vegan store come to this area and to West Palm Beach, and to make it very easy to purchase and to participate. I know my husband and I have tried to eat vegan, and it's not that easy, and so I look forward to hopefully this being very successful there. I have one question for you and one question for staff. You drew some similarities between West Palm Beach and your Fort Lauderdale store. I was curious, in that store, did you also work with the city or the CRA on that property and do a similar type of lease-to-own structure, or is that a different full-out lease of a private entity?
Yeah, that was a totally different, that was a market race lease, commercial owner. So yeah, no, we didn't work with the city on that.
Okay, how did you hear about this, and how did you get involved with our CRA?
That's a good question. So, I'm a big, I eat food. I like to try foods from all over the world, and one of my favorite types of food is Ethiopian food. So I used to go to Queen of Sheba quite a bit, and I remember one time I was there, I saw that sign, and I asked Lojo, the owner of Queen of Sheba, about it, and that's how the whole thing started. So it's just by chance being there.
Hey, those signs work. That's great to hear. Mayor, I have a question for staff as well.
Yes.
I was just curious about the startup costs. So, I mentioned this earlier in a one-on-one conversation. I mean, I hope it is tremendously successful for 12 years plus, but in the case that it's not, you know, what happens to those startup costs? What do those startup costs cover? Does the city recoup any of that?
Sure. So as part of their lease agreement, any rent that's paid, say they don't exercise their purchase option, all of those rent payments that would have gone as a credit towards purchasing the property remain as rent payments with the CRA. And should the use change, say, you know, they're no longer able to operate as a vegan restaurant or whatever the case may be, the lease as it's written now is very general in terms of it can be, you know, restaurant, eatery, or retail grocery. So it's not specific to vegan-based.
Thank you. And what about the 700 that they put into the startup costs?
Sure. So we will be taking a full inventory of all kitchen equipment once they're established. And Gina, do you have another?
So that would stay with
would
the building?
If in the case of default,
Of course.
they would stay, yes.
Okay. We wish you much success should this move forward. I hope that does not come to that. I want to see you going in 15, 20 years. Thank you.
Commissioner Fox?
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you so much to the team for your commitment to this neighborhood. I think it's really exciting to have something new and fresh, and the opportunities that you're talking about for community, all the things that you're bringing that are just so needed. I think it's such an exciting time for the neighborhood. You're going to have the police department working on their Explorers Club right on 7th and Tamarind, and there's going to be obviously several new businesses with the Sticks. There's several other ones that have just opened on Tamarind or will be coming soon. West Palm Beach Cat, you might have heard earlier today, the executive director talking about their program. I hope that you will connect with her today to find ways that you can possibly partner in the future. One of the presidents of the Downtown Neighborhood Association was just walking out, and I know you mentioned wanting to have more downtown young professionals, you know, stopping by for dinner after work and that kind of thing. So if there's anything that we can do to help market your business to new customers and just to make sure that people can find you, you know, we would be happy to help you. I would love to introduce you to others in the neighborhood that you might not have met or downtown. So I look forward to working with you and excited for all that's to come.
Commissioner Warren?
Thank you, Mayor. Taking into consideration that this enterprise, this wonderful enterprise, is in a historic community, we know that the streets in the historic Northwest are very narrow. And I don't know what we're doing to address the parking for this, because we do want to see that it's successful. And if parking is not sufficient, they're not going to be able to bring in and keep people to come and patronize if we don't take that into consideration and address it early on.
Thank you. Gina Baker, Senior Project Manager for the Historic Northwest. I am very excited. You guys failed to mention you all were trying to get one of the Sticks buildings. That's also how you met them initially. So this is intended to be a neighborhood commercial type operation. We're hoping that a significant amount of their draw is from the neighborhood, but for those who are coming in, we'll have to exercise on-street parking. And we don't have a picture of the site plan, but there is some on-site parking for this location as well. Okay.
Do we know how many parking spaces we're anticipating? Because I think that that's important.
I think there's 8, total of 8 on site, and it's based on the square foot of the actual space. So I think it's 200, 1 space per 200 square feet that's provided on site, and then there's parking along Sapodilla Avenue as well.
So they'll have designated parking, and they'll have the ability to have on-street parking.
That is correct. Both on 7th and Sapodilla as well.
Thank you.
Were you finished with your presentation?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 25-30.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to a new experience in our historic Northwest. No more Popeyes or ribeyes. Sorry. Okay. And that is the final item on this agenda, so the CRA meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you all very much.